Welcome dear student and Jai Swaminarayan. Dear student, up till now in this chapter, we will discuss about the system of the particles and the rotational motion. So in this chapter, up till now, we will discuss about the rotational kinematics. Right? Rotational kinematics is a branch of the rotational motion in which we will study about a rotational motion without its causes. And second branch is the rotational dynamics. Rotational dynamics is a branch of the rotational motion in which we study the rotational motion with its causes, right? So now onwards in this chapter we will discuss the rotational dynamics. What are the cause behind the rotational motion? What are the different physical quantities associated with the rotational dynamics? So understand what do you mean by the rotational dynamics? Rotational dynamics is a branch of the rotational motion to understand the rotational motion with its causes. So let us start with the rotational dynamics. So rotational dynamics, rotational motion with its causes. We know that, dear student, translational motion. In the motion, there are two branch, kinematics and the dynamics. So translational motion, linear motion also has a two branch, right? Kinematics and the dynamics. Similarly, rotational motion also has the kinematics and the dynamics. Kinematics is a branch which deals with the motion without its causes, and dynamics is a branch deals with the motion with its causes, right? So dear student, we know that in the translational motion, or we can say that the linear motion in a straight line, force plays an important role. The fundamental reason behind the translational motion is a force, right? Similarly, the fundamental reason behind the rotational motion is the torque, right? So force plays the fundamental role in the translational motion. Similarly, we can say that the torque plays a fundamental role in the rotational motion. So dear student, in this video, first we will discuss about what do you mean by the torque, what is the how we can calculate the torque acting on the particle, how we can calculate the torque acting on the system of the particle, how we can calculate the torque acting on the rigid body. So dear student, let us start with the first point of the rotational dynamics, that is the torque, right? What do you mean by the torque? The torque is defined as a product of magnitude of the force and perpendicular distance of line of action of force from the origin, right? So the definition of the torque is like that. Torque plays an important role in the rotational motion. So what do you mean by the torque? Torque is defined as a product of magnitude of the force and perpendicular distance of line of action of force from the origin. That means the perpendicular distance of the force from the origin, right? So from this definition, the formula of the torque is like that. Torque is equal to force into perpendicular distance, right? So by the definition of the torque, the unit of the torque is a Newton into meter. The unit of the force is a Newton, and unit of the perpendicular distance is a one type of the distance, that is the length, right? So unit of the distance is a meter. So the unit of the torque, SI unit of the torque is a Newton into meter, or we can say that the joule also. So SI unit of the torque is similar to the work, right? From that we can take the dimensional formula also, right? How we can get the dimensional formula? Dimensional formula of force and dimensional formula of distance. So the dimensional formula of the torque is a m1 l2 t minus 2, right? Torque is a vector quantity, and the torque acting on the particle, torque acting on the rigid body is a vector quantity, and it is in the direction perpendicular to the both force and the position vector. So how we can find the direction of the torque? The direction of the torque is found with the help of the right hand screw rule, right? So for that, we first consider the torque acting on the particle, torque acting on the system of particle, and then we will discuss the torque acting on a rigid body. How we can calculate the torque acting on the rigid body. So first point is torque acting on a particle, right? So first, how we can calculate the torque acting on the particle? Torque is a vector quantity, right? So here the torque is the product of the force and the perpendicular distance of the line of action of force from the origin, right? So here consider a particle is at a point P, has a position vector r from the origin. So let us consider the particle P is at a point P, performs the rotational motion about a z-axis. The particle P may be a particle of the rigid body, may be a particle of the system of the particle, right? So consider a particle is at a point P, has a position vector r with respect to origin. This particle P performs the circular motion about the z-axis. So here the particle P performs the circular motion about the z-axis. Particle may be a particle of the rigid body, may be a part of the system of the particle, right? The force acting on the particle is F. Consider this, the force acting on the particle is F and the position vector of the particle is R, right, with respect to origin. Now by the definition of the torque, the vector product of the force and the position vector is the torque acting on the particle, right? So dear student, understand how we can describe the figure, right? As shown in this figure, right? Consider a particle P having a position vector R, right? So as shown in the figure, consider a particle P has a position vector R. R has a three component. R is equal to xi plus yj plus zk. The component of the position vector in the direction of x, component of the position vector in the direction of y, and component of the position vector in the direction of z, right? The particle P may be a particle of the rigid body, may be a part of the system of the particle. This perform the rotational motion. So we can say that the particle P perform the circular motion along the z-axis and the force acting on the particle is F. The force acting on a particle is F is represented by a vector fx I caret plus fy j caret plus fz k caret. Here fxi is the component of the force in the direction of the x. Fy is the component of the force in the direction of the y. And fz is the component of force in the direction of z, right? So position vector and the force vector, you know, right? So the vector product of the position vector r, cross product of the position vector r and the force F is called the torque acting on the particle with respect to origin. So here we can define the torque, right? The vector product of position vector r and the force vector F is called the torque acting on the particle with respect to origin. So we can write the torque tau is equal to position vector r cross force vector F. Cross product of position vector r and the force vector F is equal to the torque acting on the particle, right? Here the torque is the vector quantity and it is in the direction perpendicular to the plane containing the position vector and the force vector, right? In the definition of the torque with respect to origin must be specified, right? So in the definition of the torque we must represent the reference point. Why? Because if you change the origin, the position vector of the particle changes, and if the position vector of the particle changes, the torque acting on the particle is changing. So in the definition of the torque you must specify the reference point, right? The vector product of the position vector r and the force vector F is called the torque acting on a particle, right, with respect to origin. So from that we can represent torque tau is equal to position vector r cross force vector F. Cross product of position vector r and force vector F is the torque acting on the particle. So how we can calculate the torque acting on the particle? To calculate torque acting on a particle, we require two things. First one is the position vector and second one is the force vector. Here the position vector and the force both are the vector quantity, and torque is also a vector quantity. So the cross product of position vector and the force vector is equal to the torque acting on the particle. So let us consider that the position vector r is equal to xi plus yj plus zk. In the three-dimensional, the position vector is represented by r is equal to xi plus yj plus zk, and force vector F has a three component fxi plus fij plus fzk, right? So how we can find the torque acting on the particle? Torque tau is equal to cross product of position vector r and force vector F, r cross F. And how we can find the cross product of the two vector? We were discussed in the previous video in the vector algebra. So dear student, up till now you have not seen the previous video for the vector algebra of the same chapter, right? See the previous video of the vector algebra, so you can easily understand how we can calculate the cross product. So to calculate the cross product, we need to make a determinant. Torque tau is equal to r cross F. R has a three component and F has a three component. So first make a component in the direction of the x, I, j, k. Then write the component of the r, x, y, z, and write the component of the F, fx, fy, and fz. So now solve this determinant. How to solve this determinant? You know very well. In the vector algebra, in the vector product of the two vector, we will solve this type of the determinant, right? So by solving this determinant, we get the three component of the torque. Component of the torque in the direction of the x, that is the I caret. How we can get? So eliminate the row and column containing the I and cross multiplication of the component, right? We get the x component of the torque. Then we take a j, eliminate the row and column containing a j, and by cross multiplication of the component we get the y component of the torque, and eliminating the k and cross multiplication of the component we get the z component of the torque. So this way we can find the torque acting on the particle, right? So understand, for the more detail about how we can solve the cross product of the two vector, see the previous video for the vector multiplication, right? In the vector multiplication we will discuss about this, how we can solve this cross product of these two vector. Here the torque acting on the particle, we get the three component of the torque. The component in the direction of the x, that is the tau x, component in the direction of the y, that is the tau y, and component in the direction of the z, that is the tau z. So here the torque is a vector quantity and the direction of the torque is found with the right hand screw rule, right? And the torque is in the direction perpendicular to the plane containing the position vector r and the force vector F. So how we can how we can find the direction of the torque? So place a screw perpendicular to the plane containing a position vector r and the force F vector, and rotate a screw from position r to F. The direction of the screw is taken as a direction of a torque. So if you rotate a screw from R to F, the direction of the screw is taken as the direction of the torque. So here the torque is a vector quantity. It has a component, three component, right? The direction of the torque is found with the help of the right hand screw rule, and the direction of the torque is perpendicular to the plane containing the position vector and the force vector. Now here the magnitude of the torque. So from this formula, torque tau is equal to r cross F. the definition of the torque is a cross product of position vector r and the force vector f. So from this, the magnitude of the torque is magnitude of the position vector r, magnitude of the force f, and sine theta, where theta is the angle between the position vector r and the force vector f, right? So here the angle between the position vector r and the force vector f is the theta. So we take a rf sine theta. So the magnitude of the torque tau is equal to rf sine theta, right? Where theta is equal to angle between the position vector r and the force vector f, right? Now take this, magnitude of the torque is equal to magnitude of force and r sine theta. So from this figure, right, we need to find the r sine theta. So if you take from this triangle OPM, theta is here, right? And if you calculate the sine theta of this angle, sine theta, that means the opposite divided by hypotenuse. So opposite is a OM and hypotenuse is a R, right? So from this figure, if you calculate the sine theta, it is equal to OM divided by OP, right? So sine theta is equal to OM divided by R. So we calculate the R sine theta is equal to OM. So from this figure, if you calculate the OM, that is the R sine theta. So here we take the angle theta, this, right? Opposite side of this angle is the OM divided by hypotenuse R. So sine theta is equal to OM divided by R, and from that R sine theta is equal to OM, that is the perpendicular distance of the line of action of the force from the origin, right? So here the definition of the torque tau, magnitude of the torque is the magnitude of the force and the perpendicular distance of the line of action of the force. So torque is defined as the product of magnitude of force and perpendicular distance of line of action of the force, right? So understand how we can derive the definition of the torque. So now dear student, we will take one example. If the position vector of the particle is given to you, r is equal to 3, 1, 2, x component is 3, y component is 2, 1, and z component is 2, and the force vector is given to you 5, 2, 1. X component of the force is a 5, y component of the force is a 2, and z component is 1. So here both the position vector with respect to origin is given to you and force acting on the particle is given to you. Calculate the magnitude of the torque, right? So by the definition, we know that tau is equal to r cross f. So here the position vector and force vector is given to you. So make a determinant, right? Form a determinant. Torque tau is equal to determinant. First I, j, k compulsory, r cross f. Then put a component of the r, 3, 1, 2, and then put a component of force 5, 2, 1. Now solve this determinant. So how we can solve this determinant? So first we take a I, right, and eliminate the row column containing a I. So here we eliminate the row and column containing a I. We get the 4 component. From left to right, multiply the cross component 1 into 1, right, minus 2 into 2. So 1 into 1, 1, minus 2 into 2, 4. 1 minus 4, we get the minus 3i. That is the x component of the torque. Similarly, put a minus j here. Eliminate the row and column containing a j and cross multiplication of the component from left to right. So 3 into 1 minus 5 into 2. So 3 into 1, 3, minus 5 into 2, 10. 3 minus 10, we get the minus 7. So minus j, minus 7. Similarly, cross the k component, right, and cross multiplication of the component 3 into 2 minus 5 into 1. So 3 into 2 we get 6 minus 5 into 1, 5, we get a 1. So we get a torque tau is equal to minus 3i plus 7j plus k. And the magnitude of this torque, how we can find the magnitude of this torque? Under root of a 3 minus 3 square plus 7 square plus 1 square. We get the magnitude of the torque, it is equal to under root of 50 9. Understand how we can calculate the torque acting on the particle? So under root 59 we get the 7.68 magnitude of the torque. So torque tau is equal to minus 3I plus 7J plus K, and magnitude of the torque is a 7.68 Newton into meter. So similar example is given in your textbook, example number 7.5, right? So let us see the statement of the example 7.5. Here the example 7.5 is in the textbook given. Find the torque of a force 7I plus 3j minus 5k. So here the force is given to you, right? The force vector is the 7I plus 3j minus 5k, and the force act on a particle whose position vector is I minus j plus k. So position vector is given to you I minus j plus k. Find the torque of the force. So torque and the magnitude of the torque. So let us see the solution of this. So here the position vector is given to you, r is equal to I minus j plus k, and force vector is given to you 7I plus 3j minus 5k. Now torque acting on the particle tau is equal to r cross f. So tau is equal to, we make a determinant I, j, k. First write the component of the r, 1, minus 1 and 1. Then write the component of the f, 7, 3 and minus 5. Now how we can solve the determinant? Solve this determinant as we were discussed previous example. Eliminate the row and column containing a I, right? Cross multiplication of the component, minus 1 multiply by minus 5. We get a 5 minus 3 multiply by 1, 3. So we get the x component to I. Similarly, minus j, put a minus j and eliminate the row and column containing a j and cross multiply 1 into minus 5, minus 5 minus 7 into 1, 7. We get the minus 12j, right? So here minus minus we take a plus 12j. So here k, eliminate row and column containing k, 3 into 1, 3 minus 7 into minus 1, minus 1 minus minus plus, we get the 10k. So torque acting on the particle tau is equal to 2I plus 12j plus 10k, right? And magnitude of the torque under root of the 2 square plus 12 square plus 10 square, we get the magnitude of torque, right? Understand how we can solve this example? So now dear student, we will understand torque acting on a system of particle. So torque acting on the one particle, you know that tau is equal to cross product of the position vector and the force vector, right? Now we understand this torque acting on the particle to the torque acting on the system of the particle, right? So for that, consider a system of n particles having a position vector r1, r2, r3 up to rn, and the force acting on the particles are f1, f2, f3 up to fn, right? Now calculate the torque acting on the individual particles, right? And the torque is a vector quantity, so the vector addition of the torque acting on all the particles gives the total torque, resultant torque acting on the system of particle, right? So in this system of n particle, torque acting on one particle is tau is equal to r cross f1. So we can say that the torque acting on the first particle is r1 cross f1, torque acting on the second particle is r2 cross f2, torque acting on the third particle is r3 cross f3, and torque acting on the n particle is the rn cross fn. And the vector sum of all the torque acting on a system of particle is the vector sum of all the torque. Tau is equal to resultant torque acting on a system of particle. Tau is equal to tau 1 plus tau 2 up to tau n. We take a tau 1 is equal to r1 cross f1, r2 cross f2 up to rn cross fn. In the form of the sigma, we can write tau is equal to sigma I is equal to 1 to n ri cross fi. So to calculate the torque acting on the system of particle, first calculate the individual torque acting on the particle and then vector sum of all the torque acting on the individual particle is the resultant torque acting on the system of particle, right? Now we will understand the torque acting on the rigid body. Dear student, we know that rigid body is made up of the system of the particle, right? So how we can calculate the rigid body? So here consider a rigid body rotating about the z-axis. So for the rotational motion, we need not apply a force to all the particles of the rigid body. If we apply the force uh, on the any one point of the rigid body, any one particle of the rigid body perform the rotational motion, right? So the to for the rotational motion, we need not apply the force on all the particles. Similarly, to open or close the door, we need not apply a force on the whole the door, right? We require to apply the force on the handle of the door, or uh, any one particle, any one point of the door, right? So similarly here, for the rotational motion of the rigid body, we need not apply a force on all the particles. Any single particles, if we applying a force on a single particles, the rigid body perform the rotational motion. So consider a rigid body as shown in the figure, and in this rigid body consider any one particle, nth particle, where we applying a force F n, right? The position vector of the particle is Rn. So the force, the position vector of the particle is Rn is equal to xn, yn and zn. The component of the position vector xn, yn and zn, and the force acting on the particle Fn is equal to Fnx, Fny and Fnz. So the torque acting on the rigid body tau is equal to R cross F. We can calculate with the help of the determinant. And how we can solve the determinant? You know easily, right? Tau is equal to ijk xn, yn, zn, fnx, fny and fnz, and calculate the torque. We get the three component of the torque: tau x, tau y and tau z. So tau x is equal to yn fnz minus fny zn. That is the x component of the torque. Tau y component of the torque, and tau z component of the torque, right? So here, to produce the rotational motion in the rigid body, we need not apply the force in all the particles. Only we apply a force on a single particle, the body performs the rotational motion and the torque produced in the body. So if the rigid body is rotating about the x-axis, the x component of the torque is responsible. So here the x component of the torque is responsible for the rotational motion about the x-axis. Y component of the torque is responsible for the rotational motion about the y-axis, and z component of the torque is responsible for the rotational motion about the z-axis, right? So if the rigid body is rotating about any axis, any other axis, which has a unit vector n cap, how we can calculate the magnitude of the torque? So magnitude of the torque is calculated by dot product of the torque and the unit vector in the direction of the rotational motion, right? So unit vector in the direction of the rotation. So the torque is responsible, right? Torque is responsible. The component of the torque which is in the direction of the axis of rotation is responsible for the rotational motion. So if the rigid body is rotating about the x-axis, the unit vector in the direction of the x is the I. So the magnitude of the torque is calculated by x component of the torque, tau dot I. So we get only x component, right? Similarly, y direction, if the rigid body rotating about the y direction, we take the ty component. But important for the NEAT and JEE also, right? So if the rigid body is rotating about any other axis which has a unit vector n caret, how we can calculate the magnitude of the torque? The magnitude of the torque is the dot product of the vector torque and the unit vector in the direction of the torque. So let us take the one example to understand more, right? Here the position vector of the particle is given to you 5, 1, 2, and force acting on the particle is given to you 2, 1, 3. So the rigid body rotating about a axis n caret is equal to 1 by root 3, 1, 1, 1. So calculate the magnitude of the torque about the axis n caret is equal to 1 by root 3 1 1 1. So similarly, from the position vector and the force vector, we can calculate the torque acting on the rigid body. So here the position vector I, j, k, position vector 5, 1, 2 and force vector 2, 1, minus 3 given to you. So from that, calculate the torque acting on the rigid body. So torque acting on the rigid body is a minus 5i plus 19j plus 3k. Now magnitude of the torque about the axis. If the rigid body is rotating about the axis which has a unit vector n cap is equal to 1 by root 3 1 1 1. So the magnitude of the torque tau is equal to dot product of the torque tau dot n caret. So we get a 5i plus 19j plus 3k dot 1 by root 3 I plus j plus k. So how we can add this vector component? Only add the I caret. So minus 5 into 1 we get a minus 5, 19 into 1 we get a plus 19, 3 into 1 we get a 3. So if you solve, we get a 17 by root 3 Newton into meter, right? So the magnitude of the torque about the axis and which has a unit vector n cap is the 17 by root 3, right? So dear student, here if the rigid body is rotating about the x-axis, we take the magnitude of the torque is only minus 5. If the rigid body is rotating about the y-axis, we take the magnitude of the torque only 19. And if the rigid body is rotating about z-axis, we take a magnitude of the torque 3. But here the rigid body is rotating about the n caret, so we take a dot product of the tau torque tau dot n cap, right? So we get the magnitude of the torque tau is equal to 17 by root 3 Newton into meter, right? So write the proper unit of the torque which